It's here now. Lovely to have you with us.
Thank you for having me.
I think it is the first time with the orchestra, first time with Maestro Gardner as well.
Yes, actually, it's my first time to play with the orchestra and with Maestro Gardner as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you don't have nerves anymore, but even still, like a new introduction like that, when it's a whole new group of musicians, is that difficult? Is it a difficult moment?
I mean, the opening.
Yeah, the opening or just the
Yeah,
first rehearsal.
everyone knows that it's so magical and so special, but I love this piece not because of this special opening, but for me, this is the most unique concerto
You're
of.
talking about the Beethoven. I was actually
Yeah,
talking about the whole experience,
I experienced
meeting everybody for the first
at
time. I
first.
mean, both.
Sorry, sorry.
I was glad to hear that you're going to have a magical time with the band. You will, of course. But
Yeah. Of course, the first experience is always interesting and sometimes demanding. And yeah, with this orchestra, I'm sure I'll have a good time. And I heard so many great things about the orchestra and at Gardner, so I'm looking forward to it.
yeah, and I mean, so Beethoven as well, of course, is very much in your repertoire now. Chopin, I think, still, but presumably you gave up Chopin for a moment or two, maybe after winning the competition, because you must have been living with him.
Well, yeah, right after I won the Chopin competition, it was natural that I had to play a lot of Chopin's music because I won the competition, but I didn't want to be labeled as
Yeah,
a Chopin specialist. So intentionally, I didn't play so much of Chopin. But now I came back and to Chopin's music, so I started playing again.
good. You never, no, don't get rid of him. Definitely. Is it true that you told somebody once that nobody told you you were talented as a young pianist?
Talented.
Yeah. Did nobody say that? Ever say that to you?
Uh, Well, when I was a kid, when I was in Korea, my teachers were very tough, so
Ah.
they didn't give me any compliments. So actually, I'm a little bit allergic to compliments.
Okay. Well,
So
I'm not going to be able to say well, it's a real pleasure to listen, but I will. Will. You can take it as read because your performances have such soaring reviews. But you're playing Haydn. I know you've been into the Baroque with your album on Handel, but where does Haydn come now in your preferences?
to be honest, I was not a big fan of Haydn when I
Okay.
was a kid because I don't know the reasons, but so many competitions they require to play the Haydn sonata when I was a kid. So I practiced so much, but I started playing again, and I found it to be so special. And
Yeah.
I think Haydn's music, the sonatas especially, they're not so often played these days, but I think they deserve more attention.
Yeah, they're wonderful. This is the Sonata in E minor, book in 16, number 34, and I think we're getting the third movement. The piano awaits you, Seong-jin. Thank you very much. Just a small walk across the parquet. Our guest Seong-jin Cho is back to perform. He's won everything. Chopin International Chopin competition. I think last year was the Samsung Ho-Am Prize, which is a big one, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, of course it
In
is.
Korea, yes, yes.
And I know you've been back playing Korea a couple of times, and music in Korea seems to be a young audience for classical music. Can you explain why?
I also want to know why.
Okay.
Whenever I perform in Korea, I could see so many young audience, and
Yeah.
I think it's really great.
No, it is really great, but there's all this question being posed as well. A new audience is coming to classical music, and I think people come somehow by default when they're ready. But it's interesting that it's a young generation as the mainstay there.
I think they're very interested in performing arts in general.
Yeah.
Not only about the classical music, but they also go to another like pop concerts a lot. So the K-pop is so popular, and also classical music. I think it's very popular, and yeah, definitely the audience age is much lower than in Europe, I
Yeah,
guess.
it's
Yeah.
really, really interesting. There isn't an instant secret, of course, but once people have been to a wonderful performance, and a performance like yours, for instance, they're not the same again. You know, it just sort of enters the heart. Is there something you think of when you're about to perform? I know imagination is a big part of it. I think your teacher, who was a pupil of Horowitz, said imagination is the key.
It's hard to say, but um, ok- Well, like in general, when I perform, I don't think about the audience so much. Maybe I'm being selfish, but I play for the composer and I play for myself. And of course, I love sharing music with the audience. But first of all, I really care about the
Yeah.
composer the most.
Well, that's the most important thing. Well, I know you've won Chopin. You talk about Chopin as being poetic. Beethoven, you're playing this week here in London is symphonic. Where do you place Ravel? Who are you going to play for us next?
I'll be performing Ravel's Pavan.
Yeah. So would you call him poetic or?
Oh yeah, his music is poetic, and I'll be performing the complete Ravel's piano music next year for recital.
Okay.
And I've been learning this music, Ravel's music, since I was a kid, and I studied in Paris, so it is quite natural for me.
Yeah.
And yeah, it is interesting to see how music has evolved through time. And his early work is totally different from his late
Yeah.
work, like Dongbo du Coupang.
Yeah. Well, we're going to hear the Pavane pour enfant défunt, imagining a young princess dancing, maybe popping out of a painting by Velasquez. But he says it's a Pavane for a dead princess. It's not a dead Pavane, so it's got to have elegance
Yeah,
and
it's a
life, doesn't
dance.
it?
Yeah.
Dance. Thank you. I'll let you dance your way to the piano. Seong-jin Cho, thank you very much.